What's up, guys? My name's Dave.
And I'm Tommy.
And finally, I can say welcome back to Segue City. It's been too long. It's
Too long.
too
Far too
long.
long. 18 months, Dave.
18 months. I can only apologise.
We could have had 2 children in that time.
That's true. We could have. Maybe we did. Maybe that's the reason we were gone.
That's the reason for the hiatus.
Yeah, so there we go. Me and Tommy have been gone. We had 2 children in this time. You know,
Family of 4 now.
It's the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we are finally back. Segue City is finally under roll. If you are new here, this is where we talk about anything nerdy, anything geeky that's to do with movies, games, comic books, just all of your nerdy needs just completely filled.
And I'm sure we'll talk about other things like that because the point of the title Segue City is because we just keep going on and on and on. And
Yep.
It's a different and crazy wild thing. So
Yeah,
we don't know where we could end up.
We're not recording this on segues. It's just one thing just segues into another. We're not multitasking right now. But yeah, so we are finally back. It's been too long, but we are back now. We're planning on releasing Segue City once a month. At the end of each month will be a new episode of Segue City. Right on time for payday. You get paid and you get Segue City. I mean, what more could you ask for, really? But there has been many things this year. There have been so many things in this last 18 months that we had missed. Just movies alone. We've had Star Wars, Rogue One and The Force Awakens, Ant-Man, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Apocalypse, Deadpool, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, and a whole plethora of other films that aren't even superhero related that we haven't even talked about. So there is so many things that we want to mention. We have no time to get through all of them. There are a few things we especially want to talk about, starting with Star Wars.
Well, it's crazy because I was listening to some of the old episodes, and it was before Force Awakens was released. So this was before any of these Disney Star Wars films had come out, and it was just me talking all gleefully and excitedly. And then Force Awakens left me bitterly disappointed. And Rogue One didn't. I had a great time Rogue One.
Which is weird because when they came out, everyone thought it was going to be the other way around. They were like, The Force Awakens, we can't wait. And then Rogue One was like, oh, what's the spin-off? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, I do understand. I'm in the minority there. I did have a few problems that not many other people had, which is fine. I'll talk about that another time. We've got so much to get through in this show. But Rogue One especially, I want to talk about because it really was different, and that's exactly what I wanted. It felt so different.
Yeah.
Like, from the score to the pacing. Obviously, there was no opening crawl, and I just had a great time, and I really, really loved it.
Yeah, so as someone who has seen Force Awakens but has not seen Rogue One, give me your pitch. Tell me, as a person who hasn't seen it, why I should go see Rogue One.
Okay, it is. So you've heard of Star Wars before?
Of course.
And you think, oh yeah, it's going to be some wars up probably in the stars, I would assume.
That's what the title suggests. Yes.
And all the other films kind of touch on it, and you see like little things from it. This film feels like a war film. At times it feels like Black Hawk Down. At times it feels like Apocalypse Now. It is such a gritty and real, like true war film, and that is what I've been waiting for since I was a kid. So if you've ever wanted that, then you've got it. You've got it, man.
And they were amazing films to compare it to, so I feel like I should see it now.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie, I've been slacking this year. I've been really slacking this year. I have not seen anything if it hasn't been superhero related. So
I've seen everything.
yeah. So, but yeah, I've been really slacking. So yeah, Rogue One definitely sounds like it was a good one. I think I need to get my ass in gear and go see it. So, and if you haven't seen it, you also need to go see it. So
right. And I think one thing that you were probably really excited about, Dave, was a little thing called Civil War.
Oh yes, I was, and that sounded more sexual than I meant it to come out. But oh man, Civil War, as you all know, has been a film I have been waiting for so long. It is one of my favourite Marvel comic events out of anything that has ever happened. It is hands down my favourite. And Civil War, I was so excited to see, so excited that I was sort of worried I built the hype up too much in my own mind. But it did not disappoint. I know a lot of people went into it and came out a little bit bitter, a little bit sour. And I think it's because they were expecting it to be too much like the comics, which is obviously impossible. There's no way they could do that. But I've always seen the Marvel universe, like the cinematic universe, as being like an alternate universe, much like the Ultimate Universe in Marvel Comics. And I see the MCU as just that. It's an alternate universe,
isn't it?
Yeah, same characters, same enemies, same stories, but just a little bit different, a little bit changed around. What if this had actually happened? What if that had actually happened? And I loved it. I loved every single bit about it. But one scene in particular, which I think I'm all going to talk about, was the airport scene.
Yeah.
Oh my good lord, I love that. I bought the Blu-ray, I think, just for that moment. Before, when it first came out on Blu-ray, I bought it, skipped to that scene, just watched that scene about 2 or 3 times, and then went and watched the whole film. I love that scene so much. It was just perfect. It's what you want out of like a superhero battle. It's perfect. It's not just, oh, they're fighting, oh, there's carnage. It flowed.
It was just smart. It fit every single character. It touched on parts of the story that had built up earlier with like Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it touched on all those different parts of the story, as well as introducing Spider-Man completely, because we'd had Peter Parker before that briefly, but this is the first time we've seen Spider-Man in action, and that was great. And he had his like wit, and there was how many characters? Like
I think there was
12 characters,
5 or 6 on each team.
It's something crazy like that. And they managed to orchestrate this great action set piece, this great storytelling narrative point, all in one. And it was the thing every Marvel fan had been waiting for years, since 2006.
Exactly, and I hate to always compare two different franchises together, but it felt like this had been building for years. It didn't feel false, like another film that we're going to probably talk about in a little bit. But it felt like it had been building to this ever since the first Avengers film, when Cap and Iron Man bumped heads from the very start. They've got together, but they've also disagreed. They haven't seen eye to eye on everything, other than, for lack of better words, the big picture. And I think it was very important that when they first met at the airport, and they were first having that confrontation, that Iron Man had his mask off, so you could see the look on his face. You weren't just hearing his voice. You could see that he believed in what he said, but he truly wanted Cap to just listen to him. He didn't want to fight him. Like I think at one point he says, like, right, this is it. This is going to happen. And you see him sort of just like mouth the words like, come on, like just please listen to me. He doesn't want to do it. And it was perfect. Like, I think there's one thing I do slightly agree when they say that they weren't too happy with Civil War. It's obviously, it felt like suddenly Spider-Man was just chucked into it just for that one moment, as if it was like a gimmick.
I kind of loved it.
Oh no, don't be wrong. I loved it. And you obviously know how much I love Spider-Man. So.
Oh really?
Did you not know that? Did you not know that at all? Shocking.
Always had you as a. I don't know. I can't think of an obscure character now.
Yeah.
What's the Squirrel Girl, whatever?
Beak from X-Men. Like. Like I love Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland is nailing it, and I cannot wait.
That's another thing we was talking about last time. This is before Spider-Man had been cast. That was what we was talking about.
I think one of the last Segue Cities we ever did was who was going to be cast for Spider-Man, and now here we are talking about.
The shortlist.
Yeah, Civil War's nearly been out for over a year now. Was it? Wait, over a year, isn't it?
God, coming up to,
So
I
think
2016, I think. Yeah.
I think he perfectly nailed it. I'm so glad that Isa Butterfield didn't get it, because originally he was my guy. He was the one I was going. He was the one I was going for.
He wasn't. Then I showed you that picture. Then he was.
yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, it was Isa Butterfield. Oh yeah.
And then he ruined it for himself.
Yeah. And I'm glad he did, because Tom Holland, I think, has got it down. Yet again, another British Spider-Man just. Stepping up.
Yeah, we've got British Spider-Man, a British Superman.
yeah. British.
What's next?
I don't know. I swear there was somebody else in there.
We did have a British Batman at one point. But Christian Bale's now retired the mantle and given it. Should we segue over?
We had a British Bane as well, didn't we?
We had a British Bane.
We will segue over, but one last thing I want to say is, even though it felt like they just chucked Spider-Man in from a gimmick, I still felt it worked. It felt like they were just sort of just bringing in characters to build the team, but you felt the animosity, and the fight scene itself didn't feel like just everyone butting heads. It flowed one to the next to the next. It felt like it was choreographed, as if it was a fight scene in like a kung fu movie or something.
One thing that also worked, which is going to help with this segue as well, is when Tony Stark had the video footage of Spider-Man just like throwing a car or something, just to quickly show who he is and why Tony Stark knows about him. And that was a really effective use of introducing the character via a video clip. Yeah. Unlike...
oh, I see where you're going. Unlike another Clash of the Titans, shall we say.
Yeah, another fighting of two classic superheroes, and that would be Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. It was an interesting one because the second trailer completely sold me. I heard the third trailer spoiled something, so I didn't watch it. And then all I heard from that point onwards is that this film was going to be an absolute mess. And this film was an absolute mess.
Yep. Yeah, no, unfortunately, I completely agree. You know how I have blinders when it comes up to superhero movies. Right. There can be so many flaws, and I just don't see it because I love it so much. But this is one of the few films I've honestly wanted to get up and walk out of. And I've never felt like, even an awful film, I figure I've paid it, I want to go see it. Yeah. But this, I remember looking around the cinema just thinking, is anyone else thinking what I'm thinking right now?
And DC had 2 films like that in 1 year.
Yeah. Man,
Suicide Squad as well.
Oh no, they were just. I had such high hopes. It was such an awesome trailer.
See,
an awesome trailer.
I checked out pretty early with Suicide Squad, but Batman v Superman, I still to this day, because I said at the time, that second Batman v Superman trailer, I always said if the film's like awful, which it was, I would always have that trailer to go back to. It's like just a nice little short film about Batman against Superman, and I've still got that trailer. That's fine, but that film really, really let me down. And do you ever have trouble where do people think that you're very Marvel more than DC? Do you get trouble where people think that you're a bit biased to
Possibly.
one?
I think maybe I think anyone new to the channel might think that because the thing is, I think sometimes it goes the other way around. Because you got to think main content on my channel is the Batman Arkham game. So I could see how people think it's the other way around. But obviously, if you watch anything like this or the Captain's Quarters or anything like that, all I do is talk about Marvel. all the time, and the only comics I've read are Marvel, other than say like Flashpoint or something like that.
Right.
But
You're welcome.
yeah, you are. Thank you. Tommy got me Flashpoint, and I've thanked him ever since.
Yeah,
But,
I pretty much got Dave on the DC hype with comics.
Yeah. And as I said, I would always read DC. Like, there's so many things I'd want to read. Probably I don't know why. Flash, Batman, and Nightwing are the things I want to read. I don't know why.
Some of my favourites.
Well, there we go. So, but I just don't have a place to read them. And a lot of people have told me, was it Comic Flix or Comic something? It's a website where basically you can read DC comics. But the problem is
Comixology?
That might be the one.
That's the one.
But the problem is you have to pay for every single one, which is if the case, I might as well just buy it and actually own them. But the reason why obviously I read the Marvel stuff is, as I always plug, is the Marvel Unlimited, where you pay $60 or £60 a year and can read just an unlimited amount of comics. It's an amazing deal. Like, I don't see.
Crazy,
I was so excited when he swore. Then, like, you don't know how many you can read. I read like a good 1,000 in a couple of months. It's insane the amount you can read. But I don't know how the hell we even segued onto this now. We got completely off topic.
Guys,
yeah.
It happens.
But it's unfortunate, especially, and as I say, I hate to compare Marvel and DC. But when you have a film like Civil War, which had built up since, let's face it, 2008 when the first Iron Man film came out, it's been building this whole time. These are characters you know for the most part. Having this massive war, you feel their struggle, you feel their pain. It's like best friends fighting. Whereas Batman versus Superman, yes, we know Batman, yes, we know Superman, but in their new DCU, we'd only had one film, which was Superman. They introduced Batman as he's fighting, and it's also a late Batman. It's a Batman near the end of his career, to say. But
the Dark Knight Returns kind of from the comics. I don't know if you've read that one.
And as you were saying, how we segued into this about the video clips, and then they just chuck these clips of the other Justice League members in there, which with their logos on there, which I thought was it's nice. It's nice that who was it? Who did you get those clips from?
Luther.
So it's nice that Lex thought, I know this Doodle, the Flash, he will look good with this little lightning bolt.
Yeah, he sent it. You know, these top secret heroes. He sent that down to his graphics department.
Yeah.
Got them to mock some stuff up. But it's a shame. But let me pitch this to you because. If you think about it, right now we've got 3 DC films. So I want to take you back to when we had 3 MCU films.
Yes.
So we had Iron Man to start with, then we had The Incredible Hulk, then we had Iron Man 2.
I think it might have been Iron Man 2, then Hulk, actually.
No, it wasn't. It was
sure?
Hulk and Iron Man was the same year.
Okay.
They were both 2008, and then Iron Man 2 was 2010.
Right.
So let me pitch this to you. Now we've got 3 DC films. We've got Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad. So that's 1 hit at the beginning and 2 kind of misses in a row afterwards. So DC has still got time to pick it up with now Wonder Woman and Justice League coming out.
Yeah. I think the problem is I won't even call them misses. That's the proverbial shitting in the fan. Those 2 were. It was just a mess. It was a disjointed mess.
Right.
And I know it might anger a lot of people, sounding like just rapping all over their favourite films. But Man of Steel, as I said, I'm not a huge Superman fan, but I enjoyed that film. I was like, this is a decent film.
Great film,
Yeah, but the rest of them, it's not that I didn't enjoy the film. It's storytelling-wise, it was all over the place.
Right.
Both Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman.
I definitely think it's studio problems. It's the same sort of mistakes and things that we see with a lot of Fox films, a lot of the Sony films.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic Four, Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, need I say more? But so I think because now Warner Brothers have had a little jumble around, and Jeff Johns is now kind of top man over there.
Yeah.
He's kind of, so I'm wondering if he's gonna far gear up a little bit, keep it to one man, one decision, and hopefully rectify things going forwards. But having said that, I know we're not sort of talking about later stuff yet. The new Flash film that's coming out, it's gone through 3 different directors now, 4 if you count one of them was Lord and Miller. But so it's gone through 4 different directors now, and now I've heard the script has been scrapped and they're doing a page 1 rewrite, which it doesn't look good.
Yeah, and it's the thing, it's easy to look back and go, from the very start they had all the Marvel movies planned out. They didn't. They had Iron Man, then they had Hulk and Iron Man 2, and then they were like, okay, this is done well enough, we can make a phase 1. And at the end of that, they were like, this is done well enough, we can make a phase 2. So they might have had an overall goal, but they were making it up as they went along. So it can be done, but the problem is, it seems like they're not even making it up as they go along. They're making it the film as it goes along.
Yeah.
It sounds, I know a lot of people say like just having one man at the top making all the decisions isn't a good thing, but if he does, it means the story is keeping the same flow and the same pace and the same style. Well, not the same style, but
no, I know what you mean. It's still thematically the same, and
exactly. And I think it seems like Justice League, and again, it's going to anger a lot of people are saying this, but it seems like they're taking a page out of Marvel's book and they're going for a bit of a lighter tone, like the Justice League trailer with Flash. Where was it? He throws the batarang.
Yeah.
And he catches it, and he's like, "We're assembling a team." And he's just like, "I'm in." And like, oh, just like that. Like he's like, "Yeah." They've gone for a lighter comedy sort of touch, and I think it's needed. I don't think that's going to be the fix to the film. It's still directing and plot and narrative.
I think what they need to do is is choose their directors more wisely, because love or hate Zack Snyder, I happen to like him actually, right in the middle. I think his style, I think he's very style over substance, and I think that works for a lot of films. That worked for Watchmen for me. That works for 300 for me. That doesn't work for Batman v Superman. It kind of worked. It surprised me a little bit with Man of Steel, because I didn't think it would, but it was a good fit. But I think he's shown now that he's continuing that path, that style over substance, and I think that needs to change.
Yeah, I think as well. This is just my opinion. It's got no fact. This is just what I feel from watching a lot of films.
It's the internet, Dave. Just state it as fact.
Oh, in that case, yeah, it's 100% true. This is alternative facts right now I'm presenting. But I think one of the biggest problems is with directors, they take a film, they take a franchise, and they're like, oh, I'm going to put my spin on this. I'm going to make this a so-and-so type of film using this character, but they don't know the content. They don't know the core, the story, the history of the character. And yeah, they might pick up a comic or two. You always see the famous clip of an actor about to play a character, and then they're reading the comic.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, now they're an expert. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm good they do. It's that they're trying to get into the role, and it's good that they do. But I think a lot of directors, and this happens a lot with superhero films, is they go, I'm going to get Spider-Man, I'm going to get Batman, and now I'm going to make my twist on it. And it's like, yeah, that's good if you want to do that sort of thing, but if it's in part of a larger universe or a larger cinematic universe, it needs to still be in line with everything else. And that's my biggest gripe with the first 3 Spider-Man films. It's like, don't be wrong, I know I always crap on them saying they're awful, but they're not. They are okay films. I've always said they're good films, they're just not good Spider-Man films.
Right.
They are great films.
Spider-Man 2 is excellent.
That is my favourite.
That is an excellent film.
Yeah, that is a good film. I do like that one. But the thing is, they're great films, but they're just not good Spider-Man films because he's not Spider-Man.
How'd you feel about those first 3 X-Men?
Again, second one my favourite.
Yeah, the second one's good.
Yeah,
But
that's the same. By the way, they weren't X-Men films. They should have been called Wolverine and the X-Men, because it was about Wolverine and the X-Men were his sporting cast.
Yeah.
Let's face it. But again, second one was the best one. But it was. You could easily use my thing of, oh no, it's an alternate universe.
Right.
But they don't. They follow the same film trends that all the other films use. It's just they happen to have superpowers. And this is what, as we might as well segue onto it now, talking about X-Men Apocalypse. And this is one of my huge gripes. And the annoying thing is First Class. I was actually watching it just last night. That is a great film. And I thought, here we go.
Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn again.
That's a real callback to you early Segue City listeners.
Basically, for anyone who doesn't know any subject, Tommy can bring back to Matthew Vaughn. I swear to God, was it the 6 degrees of separation? Literally, by linking it to 3 or 4, 5, 6 other people, he can bring it back to Matthew Vaughn every single time.
I think at one point I got Marilyn Monroe to.
Yeah, it used to be a little segment we used to do at the start of the old Segue Cities. Like, oh, man, that's great. That is a rare and unique talent you have there.
Wow.
Yeah, some men.
I wouldn't call it a talent.
Some men can fly, some men can web zip around town, and you can link things to Matthew Vaughn. So there you go. You'd be.
I like my Matty V. What can I say?
You'd be a great corrupt prosecutor. Matthew Vaughn did it. See, I can prove it in 6 steps. But that's one of the biggest problems I have with the X-Men, the newer X-Men films, is again they're just making a film, but not only are they making sort of the same film, but they're not focusing on the X-Men. They're just using the X-Men characters just to tell a different film. Like we're going there to see the X-Men. We're not going there to see people becoming the X-Men.
The one thing I wanted most in Apocalypse, like while I was watching it, is at one point they're all in the Xavier School, and Scott and that are all talking, and Nightcrawler, and they're all like, oh, let's go to the mall. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to go to the mall with the X-Men, and they're all teenagers and school kids, and we don't go to the mall. Yeah. I was waiting for like a cool 80s scene at the mall where they're just like chilling out, hanging out, having fun, and we just don't see it. It's a deleted scene.
Do you remember last year when we were talking about X-Men Apocalypse, all the clips we had, the new photos we had were all of that mall scene as well.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, the thing we were hyping about, it didn't even happen. And it's not that we just want to see a bunch of teens go shopping.
No, it's just what the X-Men are. They're just kids, you know, and they're just persecuted for being mutants, you know, and it's like, it's an allegory of like Black America and how the civil rights movement and stuff like that, and that's what I wanted to see. Instead, we just kind of got the same old, pardon the pun, apocalyptic sort of film, you know, where at the end of the world is imminent, and for some reason no one's aged in the 30 years between First Class and Apocalypse.
It's true. I mean, in fairness, in X-Men First Class, they looked a bit fresh-faced, but that was only because that was about 5-6 years ago. But still, they're supposed to have gone 20 years by this point. Because in the newer X-Men films, for anyone who doesn't follow them, each time they're going 10 years. So First Class was the 60s, was it? Then Days of Future Past was the 70s, and then Age of Apocalypse even was the 80s. And that was another thing. The 80s being what the 80s were, I figured that would have been a really great time for the
You
mutants.
can finally have the pulpy costumes as well.
Yep.
Which don't. Well, I would have liked them still in the.
Which
2000
don't fit
one.
now, but will fit perfectly in the 80s because that's when they were created, was in the
Exactly,
80s. So
yeah.
it would have, well, at that time, that was when it was.
That
Obviously,
was-
that was
yeah,
the first
yeah.
X-Men, but yeah, like it would have been perfect. But the problem I'm finding, especially with X-Men, is First Class was them all coming together. It was Xavier's First Class. I thought
Yeah.
that was perfect. The next film, I was expecting obviously a bit of a smaller roster because of how First Class finished. But again, it was the X-Men are no more. Xavier's going on some mad drug binge. And it was like, okay, so now we need to form the team together. But that's fine, 'cause it's Days of Future Past. We're rewriting the timeline anyway. That's fine. Apocalypse, the team was back together. So I was like, right, here we go. Let's start off as the X-Men. Apocalypse starts, the team's gone again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's running his school, but there's no X-Men for some reason. And then right at the very end of the film, you're X-Men, and they're all wearing their suits, and then the film ends. And it's like,
the
are you
suits look
kidding
perfect.
me? Yes.
The suits look
And
perfect.
that was in the promotional material as
And do you know
well.
what the worst part is? The next one's 10 years later, so we're not even going to pick right back off.
Nope.
You know where we left off. All of them in the 80s in their cool costumes of another cool story. No, the next one's in the 90s.
Yeah, and it's not going to make any sense because at the end of Apocalypse, there's Jean Grey. Oh, look, the Phoenix Force is starting to manifest. 10 years later, what did it take a siesta? Did it go on sabbatical for 10 years and then decide to come back? And then you guarantee you, when the next X-Men film starts, the X-Men have separated again, and the whole film's going to be spent bringing them back together. It winds me up. I go to see the X-Men. I don't go to see Scott Summers for some reason being really angry. Like, it just bugs me. Like, and that. I mean, I know they switched it. Like, Havoc was the more sensible one, and this time Scott was the aggressive one. But it bugs me. I want to see X-Men. I don't want to see them becoming the X-Men.
I wonder now if we'll have something slightly different, and they're going to start focusing their attention on Deadpool, which also came out this year.
True.
Because that was obviously kind of a different sort of Fox universe. It was a different what's his name? The metal dude.
Oh, Colossus.
Colossus. Jesus,
Yeah.
that was embarrassing. All right, they had a different Colossus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although they still obviously like broke the fourth wall and referenced like which Xavier, McAvoy
Yes.
or Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, these
Probably the
timelines, I
joke of
can't
the
keep up
film.
with it. Yeah.
But so I wonder if they'll just tell us, they'll just start sort of pushing your focus towards that X-Men universe.
Possibly, but then you sort of run the risk that this has happened. This has been really good, and I think we should talk about Deadpool a bit because that was amazing.
It was so
But
good.
the problem is, it was so good, but now Fox are going to be like, oh, that was good, and they're going to start putting their
They're
fingers
gonna get
in
the
it.
wrong message. They're gonna get the wrong
Yeah.
message from it and just make like every film R-rated from now on. And
Yeah.
like it suits that character, and it does suit Logan as well, which is coming this year. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, this year,
I
this
forget
year,
we're 2017
March, yeah,
already.
it comes out in a couple of months.
Yeah. So it is interesting, and it could go anywhere.
One thing that I think is really weird was Deadpool was obviously, they sort of class him in the ranks of the X-Men, but he's not actually a mutant. He's sort of like a fake, not a fake mutant. He's a artificial mutant in a sense. But what makes me laugh is the very short clips you had of the X-Men, which was just a Colossus and I always get a name wrong. Negasonic Teenage Warhead?
Yeah,
is that
Negasonic
one?
Teenage Warhead. That's
Yeah,
the
like
one, yeah.
they were the only two of the X-Men you see, and still they did a better job of portraying the X-Men in them two than they did. Like Colossus was perfect,
Yeah.
right on the money. The kind giant. That's basically what he is.
Yeah.
He's the gentle giant.
And they just had them at the school. The other X-Men were on another mission.
Yeah.
It just felt like, yeah, of course that's what the X-Men are doing.
And
like,
even though it was all tongue in cheek, it's just little
Yeah.
bits like when Colossus was sitting there eating the cereal and he sees Deadpool and he's like, oh, Deadpool. Like, it's perfect. That was him. He's just like, he's a big guy, but then you always see him in these positions where he looks really normal. And it's just,
yeah.
it's really odd. It's
Well-
just, it makes you laugh how.
Well, Deadpool got a nomination from the Writers Guild of America and the Golden Globes for like best script, and it got a Producers Guild of America nomination for best picture. And normally those sort of awards, the Guild Awards, for you guys who don't know, are normally the best indication of what's going to get nominated at the Oscars, because it's the
Right.
so the Guild Awards are basically voted on by the other professionals. So the Writers Guild are voted on by all the professional writers in Hollywood. So they're the best judges basically of what's well written. Same for producers, what the best film is, because they produce films. So normally that's the best guide. So there was a really good chance this year that Deadpool was going to get nominated for Best Picture and for Best Adapted Screenplay, but it didn't, unfortunately. But it's still just telling of how good it was and how different it was to the normal films we get. I think as well because it's a commentary kind of on the superheroes. Right?
Yeah. And the thing is, I wasn't following the Oscar nomination then, so I was getting really excited thinking you're about to say it was actually nominated.
I'm sorry.
Would that be the first superhero film that actually, because I don't think any of it actually ever won an Oscar.
It would have. Well, the Dark Knight would have, if it wasn't the last year that there were 5 Best Picture nominations.
And
because I think it was because of that we now have up to 10. So
Yeah.
now for Best Picture, anywhere between 5 and 10 films can be nominated. I think this year there's 9.
I mean,
and, Dark Knight was the last. Well, 2008 was the last year that didn't have that.
Yeah.
So it would have probably got nominated had that not been the case.
Yeah, it's a shame, and it sort of feels like you're riding the hype train a little bit. But Deadpool deserves it. It was breaking the mold, and it finally felt like we got a decent, half decent
Yeah.
X-Men film, even though he's not actually an X-Man. Like it was, he's sort of an
Yeah,
X-Man.
well,
but-
I think he's going to now sort of lead the X-Force, so maybe that's going to
Oh
take
man,
center
that'd be
stage.
cool. Well, we know Cable's going to be in the next one as well, which is going to be
Cable's gonna be in the
fantastic.
next
The
one, yeah.
dynamic between Cable and Deadpool is
Potentially
fantastic.
Pierce Brosnan playing him as well. Have you
You're
heard this?
kidding
Have
me.
you not seen this? Okay,
No.
so on
No.
so on Instagram, so there's no confirmation or anything, but on Instagram, what's his name? Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Pierce Brosnan all had a picture together, and it just said Wolverine, Bond, Deadpool, and that was it. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing else. So now there's all this speculation going around there that because Ryan Reynolds is very savvy on the old social medias, and that he's teasing that will be Cable. And
Nah, I'm not believing that. I'm thinking I think that's the rumor mill on the internet just going wild. Like I said, Bond. It didn't go question mark or say Cable or anything like that. I feel there's no tease in there. I think that was just.
do you think we'll
a
get
selfie.
Hugh Jackman cameo in a Deadpool film?
I don't know. They said it was done. I think the only cameos we're gonna get is him constantly just using like Wolverine
Well-
and Hugh Jackman merch.
Well,
like-
I'm just saying, not necessarily Wolverine, but just Hugh Jackman.
Oh right, okay.
Because he said he's not doing Wolverine again, but will he just, appear in a Deadpool film now and have some really fun fourth wall breaking?
I would be completely happy with that if he just starred as Hugh Jackman, like he just played the actor Hugh Jackman or something like that. Like, I'd be totally happy with that. Or if in every single film he plays a different character, like Stan Lee does with Stan Lee's cameos.
I'm just showing Dave the picture now on
which
Instagram.
obviously I'm assuming you guys will see on the screen at the moment. Oh yeah, and they're doing the hear no evil, speak
yeah.
no evil, say no evil. Or
Yeah.
whatever way round that's supposed to go. But no, speaking of nominations and stuff like that, and like Batman nearly getting an Oscar. Technically, another Batman got a kind of an Oscar in the form of a Razzie.
Well, that's true. Yeah, the Razzie nominations also came out, and I think Batman v Superman was the film that had the most nominations. I have to double check that at some point. But yeah, so Suicide Squad and Batman got plenty of nominations. Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck as worst duo, and Batman v Superman as worst picture. And
No, which is a
Yeah.
shame because I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I think he's going to make a
Yeah.
good Batman. It's just a shame the film was structured like a baby trying to do something
at least
that's
Suicide Squad
unstructured.
Suicide Squad got an Oscar nomination.
Oh, I can't believe
for,
that.
for hair and makeup. So
I mean, do you know what bugs me most about that? Is the amount of people that now see Harley Quinn, and like this is not me like stereotyping or anything like that, but the amount of girls that have now seen Harley Quinn, and they now love Harley Quinn, but they love this Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And I think I love Margot Robbie, but it was not a good
Not my
Harley
Quinn.
Quinn.
Not my
Bear in
Quinn.
mind, this is someone who's coming from a guy who doesn't really read DC. Even I know that's not Harley
did you ever
Quinn.
watch the animated series? That's
No,
what-
I still
that's,
need
that's
to.
where the
I
character
still-
made her debut. Yeah.
I still need,
really,
yeah,
you really treat yourself.
yeah, that's when they put her in the comics. Was
Yeah.
after the success of the animated
Yeah,
series,
that's
wasn't it?
exactly right. Yeah.
But no, I still haven't. Even I know that's not Harley Quinn. It seems like that seemed like a girl acting crazy. That's what it felt like to me. And I don't mean like that specifically a girl, like just someone acting crazy. It just
Right.
felt like someone. Hey, look, I'm playing a character who's crazy, so I'm gonna make silly faces and say silly stuff. It just it's just oh no, I'm not gonna get started. I'm just not gonna get started. It's just like it's the stuff they say. It's the sort of stuff someone would say when they're acting like that, not someone who actually is that. If you see what I mean.
There's two really big production problems with that film, and you can see both of them. The first is the script was written in 4 weeks. The second is it was edited by a trailer editing company. So it wasn't edited by people that edit films. It was by people that edit trailers.
Well, that's probably why the trailer was so good.
That's why. Well, that's the thing. The trailer looks so good, so they thought, "Oh, quick, let's get these to do the whole film." So
Yeah.
they did that. That's why it looks like 8 different music videos stitched together
Yeah.
with like sloppy dialogue in the middle. Like that is the biggest problem with that film.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I felt like the whole film was just trying to sell a soundtrack. Like, that's what it felt like to me, anyway.
Yeah.
For the first
yeah.
30 seconds, you had 3 different iconic hits. It was all right. But anyway, we've bashed on those films and talked about some other good films. As I said, there were so many other good ones like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange. There's other great TV shows like Westworld as well. So many good
Westworld's
things that have come out this year. But if we talk about this, we'll end up speaking about the whole podcast about the stuff that has already come before.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some stuff that's actually coming up this year that we're really looking forward to.
Right, yeah. So I think the first one's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I'm
Oh,
so excited
God.
about. I'm trying to remember where we were with Segue City last time on Guardians, because it was definitely after it was released, actually.
Oh yeah, definitely after it'd been released. It'd been out for a good year or so at that point.
Right, because this is something I was counting down for ages. I
Yeah.
was talking about animated series earlier. When I was a kid, I watched, obviously, Batman the animated series, X-Men the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, and my personal favourite one was the Silver Surfer animated series. He's also one of my favourite heroes.
Yeah. See, I never watched that one. Never
Right,
seen that.
well-
Saw X-Men and Spider-Man.
Well, Drax the Destroyer was in the show.
Oh, really?
So I'd known about him for a while, a
Yeah.
really long time, in fact. And I'd read a lot of the comics and stuff with because I'd read a lot of the Infinity Gauntlet stuff.
Yep.
And what was the other one that I can't remember the name of it now. But obviously Star-Lord was a big part of that. This is when the Annihilators started and things like that. So I'd already loved a lot of the Guardians. Then the film got announced. It was James Gunn, who I was already a fan of from the film Super, which is excellent if you haven't checked it out. It's a good little indie film with Rainn Wilson. It's like a superhero thing. It's really good. Ellen Page. So I was really excited for this film. It was all coming together. And then it turned out, thank God, the film was amazing.
Yeah, oh man, it really was.
Because I'm sure Dave will remember from our old college days how much I used to go on about like counting down the days every single day and stuff like that.
Didn't James Gunn actually retweet it? Your
yeah,
countdown was like 300 and something days.
He wrote to me on Facebook a few times. He would never. That would never happen now. It's too popular now.
Yeah.
But so this was a really big film for me. So this one.
Oh man, and the trailer for it as well. Yet again, a great trailer. It wasn't outstanding, but it didn't need to be. It's just everyone, I think, just can't wait to go back. I think it was such an underrated film when it first came out. Like nobody was expecting it to be this good. Everyone thought, what's this? It's a raccoon in a tree. What the hell? But like it came out, and I think it just blew everyone's mind. I think it helped that nobody really knew who they were.
Yeah,
so that helped.
Did.
You didn't have a bunch of people going, oh, well, that's not what they're really like. I think
but they
that
were
helped.
pretty close. They were in fact really close to what the originals are like.
And the comics now are actually caught up on a bit of Guardians of the Galaxy, the more recent stuff. Right. And the comics now reflect a lot of the film. I'm not sure what the lineup was before the pre-Guardians of the Galaxy film, but now
slightly different.
But now the lineup is Star-Lord, Gamora, sorry. Drax,
different
Groot,
in that
Rocket.
Their leader was a talking dog, or a telepathic dog named Cosmo.
Oh, and that's
he
was
makes a cameo in the film.
Makes a cameo in the film, yep.
And Mantis is another one who was in, but she's coming in volume 2, so we've seen her as well.
For anyone who doesn't know, she's the one in the trailer with like the antenna, like the little slug-like antennas at the top.
Who gives that great joke about revealing Star-Lord's love for Gamora. It looks
which I loved as well, just to see good old Dave Bautista on true form as Drax the Destroyer as well.
He is perfect for that role.
When he was cast for it, I was like, what?
Question marks.
Yeah, like the WWE wrestler Batista. Like.
And the thing is, I don't know if you saw Spectre as well. He wasn't great in it, I didn't think.
No, maybe just
that was what I expected from Drax.
Yeah.
But he just gets Drax. I don't know what it is. I think he's just more in tune with that character.
Well, he's supposed to be like a very literal person, and I think
he's given it a lot more. I think he's given a lot more to. Spectre was missed on a lot of levels, but Guardians, I think James Gunn's really helped him through it as well. So I'm really happy for Dave Bautista in that, and I've got to tease something as well. I hope you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I may have seen a little extra Guardians Volume 2 footage.
What? How am I only just hearing about this now?
Oh, I've told you before.
Have you?
Yeah.
I think I'd remember that.
Well, I'm also under strict embargo, so I can't tell you what I saw. I can just tell you.
You Guardians tease.
I can just tell you that it's so good.
When does it come out again?
It comes out in March.
No.
May. It comes out in May. It comes out
Stop
in May.
getting our hopes up. What are you doing to us?
It comes out tomorrow.
I'm going to have a heart attack right here and now. Come on.
So, on all levels, because I think sometimes the problem with a trailer is, and in fact Suicide Squad's an excellent example of this, so is Batman v Superman, you can convey a different tone to what's actually in the film in a trailer, but from a scene from a film, you just see the film as it's playing out, the pace of it, everything like that, and yeah, they've got it again. They've got it back.
Yeah.
And Baby Groot's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. He's just from the trailer as well. Just that bit with the bomb with Rocket and Baby Groot. Yeah. It's just it seems perfect.
And Yondu as well. I'm ready for a bit more Yondu.
Yeah, true. Michael
Rooker. Who is a member of the original Guardians before because there's been 3 versions. The original version from like the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Then the 2008 version, I want to say. And then finally the new version to coincide with the film release.
Didn't the original Yondu?
Venom was in as well and stuff.
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah. See, that was the one. That's the one that I read as well. Where Venom's Flash Thompson legend. But didn't Yondu originally have like a bigger red thing at the top? I'm gesturing above my head right now.
Yeah.
Like a bigger red thing on his head. Yeah.
A big fin.
It's much bigger in the comics. I'm not sure if they've now chopped it down in the comics as well. But I've got to admit, I think it would have looked a bit ridiculous in the film if Yondu had that massive red fin on the top of his head. Oh!
We'll see, won't we?
I can't even think what I was going to say next. I just got really excited. But yeah, no, Guardians of the Galaxy is actually, and people have asked me this a lot in the past, Guardians of the Galaxy is actually one of my favourite Marvel movies. It is my go-to Marvel movie if I just want to sit down and just bum out and just watch TV for the rest of the day.
It's such a fun, easy watch, isn't it? And it's so different to all the others.
Yeah. See, that's what we're saying when we were talking about storytelling earlier. We were talking about the narrative and just how the film flows. Guardians nail it.
Yeah.
It perfectly flows. Comedy, and it fits with the story. It's not just a joke and which really disorientates you, or serious and boring. Like, it shifts perfectly. I think also comedy and serious do work really well together.
Yeah.
I
When
think
done right.
Yeah, when done right. Sometimes it can really break a film, but that is perfect. They have that. My favourite scene is that scene where they've just been captured by the Ravagers. Is it the Ravagers?
Right,
Or,
yeah.
And they're all sitting there in that circle trying to discuss what to do. And they're bouncing back and forth with Quill and Rocket talking about the plan and how much of a percentage you have a plan. And they all bounce off each other perfectly.
Yeah.
And then, just like that, it gets serious. And
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
But it works perfectly. I think because of all the humour before, it's perfect.
And then they just drop a joke back in at the end. It's like, oh, we're all standing up now. And then
Yeah,
they're like, you know.
yeah, 5 jackasses standing in a circle. But and the thing is with that, there's a lot of hype going into the second film because now everyone loves Guardians. So,
Right,
but I
true.
have full confidence it's going to be a great film. So much confidence that I don't know which one I'm looking forward to more: Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Spider-Man: Homecoming. And that is saying a lot,
Right.
knowing how much I love Spider-Man and how much I'm looking forward to this film, feeling like they're finally going to get it right. And I don't know which one I'm more excited for.
Well, I've not seen any of Homecoming. You'll be happy to know.
Man, I would literally augment my brain just to try and find out what you've seen. Like, but no. So segueing on nicely from Guardians.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
It's meant to be in the style of a John Hughes film from the
Yes.
80s, which is perfect because that's what Spider-Man is. That's what I've always wanted from Spider-Man. And I'm pretty sure you're the same too.
Yep,
Where
yep.
you want him in school. You don't want him to graduate high school like in
Yeah.
the third act of the first film.
Yeah.
You know,
Was
'cause I'm sure like at every Spider-Man film, like the last act is him like missing his graduation because he's fighting the big villain. Like that's
Yeah.
always they always do Spider-Man in like a film, and it needs to be like more of the Spider-Man story. It needs to be much later that he
Yeah.
finally graduates. Maybe
Well-
film 2 or 3.
Well, in the first trilogy, he graduated about half hour into the first film, or
Right.
maybe a bit later than that. Second 2 series, The Amazing Spider-Man, he graduated at the start of the second film, and it's like, yeah, for the most part, Peter Parker has been an adult more than he's been a kid. But as I said earlier, and as most of you guys probably know, the Ultimate Universe is one of my favourite universes
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe. Obviously, there's a lot of universe there, but Ultimate Spider-Man is hands down one of the best reads I've ever had. It is just insane, and then also it's like, was it 300 issues? It was a lot. It was a lot of issues in total. All takes like in their life, all takes place in a year and a half.
Wow.
In our world, it took 10 years, but in their world, it was a year and a half. So much
Yeah.
happens to like a 15-year-old Peter Parker in such a small amount of time. It is insane, and that's the Peter Parker I feel we're gonna get on in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Homecoming, yeah.
A lot because a lot of the MCU has been following the Ultimate Universe, which I love.
has.
Not to the point. But a lot of stories, and the reason it makes sense because the Ultimate Universe was a retelling of the Marvel Universe. But what happened if these superheroes came out in the 21st century?
Right. Which is
Obviously, before it was in the 60s and 70s, so look at the Golden Avenger, and nobody cared. Whereas now, everyone would be on their phones talking about superhero rights and all this sort of stuff, and what reason do they have to do this, and is this
Absolutely.
lawful, and it's going against my rights to see. It's like the world's so PC now. People wouldn't like some guy with the power of a god just flying around.
It's like one of my favourite things in The Incredibles was when that guy tried to kill himself and Mr. Incredible saves him and then he sues him. that's
exactly
that's
it.
the most 21st century thing ever.
That's exactly
Being
it.
sued because a superhero saved your life and injured you, bruised your neck or something. gave
Yeah,
you
like he
whiplash.
would stop a bank robber, and the bank robber will take him to court. Like that's exactly what would happen
Yeah,
these days.
I love that.
Yeah, and the MCU seems like it's following a lot of that, like a
It
lot
does.
of what would happen. Like I think Civil War was a good
Especially
example
with
of
the
that.
Netflix series as well. I think
Yeah,
it really
yes,
showed
very
that.
much so,
Yeah.
very much so. And that's
Especially with like the journalism that you saw in season 1 of Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that just felt so true.
yeah,
to,
it's
like,
perfect.
now. Yeah.
And that's actually something I think we should talk about in a sec. So
Okay.
we will move on to that in a bit because I actually really want to talk about some of that stuff that's upcoming. But in Spider-Man, they're taking a lot from the Ultimate Universe, and even so that in the Ultimate Universe, without saying too much spoilers, there's another Spider-Man called Miles Morales.
Right.
A lot of people wanted the movies to be him. But the problem with him, to cut it down to short, is you can't have Miles Morales without Peter Parker first.
Exactly.
How Peter Parker has Uncle Ben that makes him Spider-Man, Miles Morales doesn't have. His Uncle Ben is Peter Parker. And obviously I'm not going to say too much about how that actually comes about or what actually happens, but he's his inspiration. He's why he becomes Spider-Man. So you need, if it is to actually happen, you need to have Peter Parker first. But it feels like, from watching the trailer, they've merged the two. Because Miles Morales' best friend is a guy called, and I always get his name wrong, I think it's Gank. I think that's how it's spelled. I think it's like
Right.
Ghant, I think it's
Right, okay.
spelled. He is in Homecoming. That's Peter Parker's best
Yeah.
friend in Homecoming. So it's like
Drop
they're
the Lego
mixing.
ship.
They're mixing the two together. The girl who's playing Mary Jane, I forget her name off the top of my head. It looks like in the trailer she's more of a, not a gothic, but looks like she's wearing darker clothes, darker makeup, a bit of a fight the power sort of rebel.
Yeah.
That's what Mary Jane is like in the Ultimate
Right.
Universe. So it's like they are taking a lot of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect because he spent his whole time in school. The whole time Peter Parker was in the
Yeah.
Ultimate Universe was in school.
And that's one of the coolest things about Spider-Man as well, is that he's not a man.
Yeah.
He's a boy
He's
that,
a teenager.
that tells everyone he's a man.
Yeah, all the confusion and the angst that teenagers have, he has that, but also he's fighting Electro,
Yeah.
and or in this case, the Vulture, and from what we saw, Shocker, was it Donald Glover?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover as the Shocker as well, Mr. Childish Gambino himself. Like, it's
Who's Lando Calrissian.
yeah, I know, this guy's on the freaking roll.
Yeah, God, that man.
But no, everything about Spider-Man: Homecoming, I'm so excited to see. They've got the iconic where he's webbed up two things to the left and right of him. He's holding them together, which has been in every Spider-Man franchise thus far.
Underarm webbing.
Yeah, the underarm webbing, which I've never been a fan of, but I like how they're changing it up. His
Yeah.
suit, I love so much. When we first saw those,
the eyes that move is perfect. You can finally get some like emotion in that.
when we first saw the original images like 18 months ago, I wasn't a huge fan, but then there's a lot of CGI that goes in after it, and I think it's perfect how you see like not the veins, but you see his muscles, and that's what in the cartoons it looks like. The comics it looks like.
Yeah.
It's so tight, it's literally just painted skin. That's what it looks like in the comics. But in the films, they've never got.
It's always been quite thick, isn't it?
Well, it'd be like in real life. It's a suit, but I think the CGI they've made it look like Spider-Man. I'm so excited that Marvel's finally got the not the rights back, but they're holding onto the reins and they're leading this. I think we're finally going to get the Spider-Man that we all read and we all love. But so excited, so excited.
I've heard as well that there's a clip that they showed at Comic-Con where it's just everyone's looking at a video of Spider-Man in class and Peter Parker's just sitting there wishing he could say it was him. He can't, and you know, like that sort of thing. It just sounds like exactly the sort of film that I've been waiting for.
That's exactly it. 'Cause as an adult, you know what could happen if everyone knows, and he knows in his heart. But as a kid, he wants everyone to know how cool it is. Like, this is me. That kid you're picking on, that's me who did this, and it's amazing.
It's great. And we've got a third MCU film coming out in 2017, Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, indeed we do. That's
with a cast to kill.
Yes.
You've got Kate Blanchett. You've got Carl Urban.
Yep.
You've obviously got Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. You've
Chris Hemsworth as
got,
Thor.
Chris Hemsworth and
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. Yeah. You've got Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, no, that took me completely by surprise. Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum.
He's in it too.
Jeff Goldblum's there too. I hope and pray that at some point in the film they're talking to Jeff Goldblum. Let's face it, Jeff plays Jeff. He doesn't play anyone else. He plays himself in every film. I'm hoping at one point, because obviously Ragnarok's in the comics about the end of the Asgardians and sort of the death and the rebirth and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure what form it's going to take in the movies, but that's what it normally is. I hope and pray at one point they're trying to fight it, and Jeff Goldblum turns around. He's like, "No, life finds a way." And please make him do that live for Jurassic Park. That's all I want. But no, the film looks like it's going to be incredible. It actually looks like it's, from what I've heard, it's going to be like a buddy cop movie.
That's right.
With Hulk and Thor. Obviously when they're Hulk and Thor, they fight, and obviously when they're Banner and Thor, they don't. But I think that's what it's going to be like, both of them working together, but also having their own little beef back and forth. I think it's going to, if done right, it's going to be really good.
And Doctor Strange in there as well.
Doctor Strange, as we saw in like the post-credit scenes of Doctor Strange.
And, I've got to tell you something, Dave.
Yeah.
I've seen some.
Oh God! Have you actually?
I've seen some.
Crying out loud. But again, you can't talk to the embargo.
I can't talk about what I saw. I can just say I saw some stuff and it was really
good.
Cool.
And this is going to be a recurring theme. Dave, I've seen some, and it's really good.
Well, hopefully throughout the year you'll be seeing some stuff as well.
Yes, that's very true.
Neither of us can say anything.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing about this. If at any point we actually do get to see some of this stuff early, we can't say anything. We can't say what we see. We can tell you how we feel about it. And
we might be able to say stuff earlier than stuff is released.
Yeah.
But maybe just not right away.
Yeah.
So maybe a time when we're bursting at the seams.
And it's going to be frustrating because you know how much I want to. Like, the second I find something, I have to tell you. Like, you know I want to do that, but it's going to be so infuriating. But at least we can give you guys a heads up if something's actually going to be good.
Yeah.
Or then get proved wrong every time.
Yeah. Otherwise, like last year, we could have been like, maybe miss Suicide
Squad, maybe not the best idea. But as we were saying, you mentioned some of the Marvel Netflix stuff, which have just been knocking it out of the park. Have been amazing. So last time we did a Segue City 18 months ago, how many had come out? Daredevil definitely had. I think Jessica Jones had.
Oh, had it?
I'm not sure.
I think it might have just been Daredevil season 1.
Really?
I think it might have been because.
I think you're right.
I just binge watched it and then we spoke about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. So
since
then we've had Daredevil season 1, Jessica Jones, Daredevil season 2, and then Luke Cage. Now we have
still only seen Daredevil season 1.
God. Man, you're missing out. Yeah, it wasn't even better. Have you seen the others? Have you seen Jessica Jones?
The only thing I've seen is Daredevil season 1, and I've seen a bit of Daredevil season 2.
See, now this is good. You can now binge them. You can see then Jessica Jones, then season 2 of Daredevil, then Luke Cage, and by the time you've probably binged through all them, Iron Fist comes out, and then the Defenders.
Can't wait for Iron Fist. That trailer was so good.
Yeah, that really was a good trailer.
So good.
Yeah, and it was a short one, a short little tease, and it was quite like it's going to sound silly but punchy, which is it's obviously silly being Iron Fist, but that's what it was. It was just like boom, 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 which is exactly what you need for Iron Fist because he is like a fighter. He is the Iron Fist, like,
yeah.
And it was perfect. But I think I'm not insanely excited for Iron Fist. I do like Iron Fist. I've only ever read him when he's a part of like the new Avengers or something like that. But I'm more excited just because with Iron Fist done, the Defenders is ready. That is what I'm looking forward to. It's basically that's gonna be like the Avengers of the Netflix MCU or the NCU, I suppose we could call it.
Dave.
Well, I suppose it wouldn't actually. It would be the MNU, wouldn't it? Marvel Netflix universe. The MNU. Yeah, the MNU. But that just sounds like M&M's ordering something from menu. The MNMU. But no, it's been amazing. You do need to binge them. Because Jessica Jones, I was shocked when she got her own Netflix series because it's going to sound bad, but I've only never known her as the girlfriend of Luke Cage.
Right, yeah.
The thing is, not that
which I think is all the more reason to have the show, to sort of remove that because I'm sure loads of people thought that. So and it's cool.
And that's not to belittle Jessica Jones. Like in the, I think it was the 2010, 2004 New Avengers.
Right.
Yeah, it was around about the time.
Favorites, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, that's my favorite time in comics. Yeah. Civil War, Secret Invasion. It was amazing, and it was around about that time. They were basically like the mum and dad of the new Avengers. Yeah. Like, because they just had a kid as well. All the new Avengers were like a team. It was almost like they were their kids or they were their family. And like everyone, the second anyone would attack like the new Avengers mansion, because they took over the old Avengers mansion where Stark had Stark Tower. Yeah. Like anytime attack, straight away, like everyone would just go and defend the child. Like, and it was really cool. And funny enough, they actually got Squirrel Girl to be a nanny as well. So because she never loses a fight. So, but yeah, no, it was really good. So I was shocked to see her get her own Netflix series. But again, really good. David Tennant, am I right? No.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that David Tennant? Yeah. For some reason
Purple
I thought.
Man?
Yeah, Purple Man. Yeah, again,
yes.
An enemy that was like, okay, but it was really good. When you first said David Tennant, I thought of who's Ricky Gervais's friend, the tall guy?
Oh, David Merchant. No,
yeah.
What's his name? Something Merchant.
It is David Merchant. No.
No, it's not. It's,
Steve Merchant?
Steve Merchant.
Yeah, for some reason when you first said David Tennant, I thought Steve Merchant. And I was like, wait, no, that's not him. That's not him at all.
He's going to be in Logan.
Yeah, well.
As a character who was also in Apocalypse. What's his name? Yeah, what's the guy who finds mutants?
Oh, Caliban.
Caliban, yeah. Steve Merchant's playing Caliban in Logan.
Fox, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Fox, please. Logan looks like it's going to be good. Logan looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't have much more to say about Netflix. We can move on to Logan if you want.
Yeah, we can get to Logan.
All I was going to say, Defenders, it's going to be like the Avengers of the MNU, and I cannot wait. Yeah. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm still curious who the enemy's going to be. I would like Kingpin, but I think they should go for someone else. Yeah, the Avengers the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh wait, these 4 guys hanging out in New York have done it. Or 3 guys and 1 girl. Okay, let's go home then.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a 2-part series of how the Defenders take over the Avengers. But yeah, but it looks amazing. I think they should get a new enemy, someone who's brand new. Obviously, if someone who's Daredevil's already beat, it's gonna make them not as important.
Would you hate it if it was Kingpin?
No, I'd like it to be Kingpin.
Or maybe multiple villains that Kingpin assembles.
If Kingpin's got a hand,
defenders, the attackers, if you will.
If Kingpin is like working behind the shadows, like he's orchestrating it all, but it's a bigger enemy, I'd be okay with that. Because the thing is, Daredevil's already beat him. So then then suddenly why does it take 4 of them now to beat him? Yeah. So if Kingpin maybe is pulling all the strings, so all of them, like maybe he's got people released from prison and he's done this and he's done that, maybe. Oh, speaking of that, completely forgot Punisher as well.
Right.
Completely forgot about John Bernthal. Is that how you say his name?
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. The second you saw him in Daredevil, well, you haven't yet.
I've seen a lot of Daredevil seasons. I've seen up to his prison scene.
Oh, so, yeah! In every Netflix series, for those, at least in the Daredevils one, there's always a scene. There was the hallway scene in Daredevil season 1.
I still think that's the best one. Well, I haven't seen them all, to be fair.
Yeah, the staircase scene in Daredevil season 2, and you had the prison scene in Daredevil season 2, which was basically like Daredevil's massive fight scene, but with a lot more death and the Punisher, and it was amazing. I
still think that Daredevil season 1 hallway scene is one of the greatest fight scenes I've ever seen.
It's always going to be.
Take, it was so realistic, and the way every punch felt like it did damage. It wasn't just like another cool punch to throw for the action sequence. It looked like, oh look, he's been kicked in the leg, he's gonna limp now, and it looked like, oh, he's jumped off that wall, he's more worn out than he would have been now, and then he'd get knocked down. The guys who'd been knocked down would get back up, which is something that bothers me in every fight scene. It's like,
once you're knocked out,
been punched, that's it, they're out now.
Yeah, you're out for hours, but they got punched and they just stood there. They held their head for a bit and then they got back up again. It was like an actual fight scene.
So real, and
And the others, don't get me wrong, the others good, but they're always trying to climax it higher and higher and higher. But the original one was because it was the first time we'd seen a long shot like that.
Episode 2 as well.
Yeah, it was like
episode 2 of Daredevil.
It was like a long fight scene, all one camera shot, and it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, I think they're going to keep doing it. But I'm hoping Defenders they do one like that. That would be amazing.
Like an ensemble one.
Like in Age of Ultron, where the camera sort of went around them as they're all fighting, or in the first Avengers, where they all first land on New York and the camera sort of goes around them.
The money shot.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, but with them all fighting one continuous fight scene. That would be really, really good.
And a grounded fight as well, not like a big superhero fight, which are fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. We just said about how much we love the Civil War one, but there's just something so much more relatable about these like Netflix ones where it's just dudes throwing punches. Yeah,
because they have also first world problems as well to deal with, like normal stuff like playing. That's probably such a bad phrase of words, but they've got real problems to deal with. It's not like in a lot of superhero films you just like disbelief, you just sort of believe in okay, Iron Man doing this. You forget about the small stuff they also have to do, and they don't forget that in the Netflix series. One thing I do hope they do is they make Luke Cage move more.
Oh, okay.
The last fights in Luke Cage, I got to say, was a little bit lackluster because he's a big guy and his skin is impenetrable. That doesn't mean he moves like a tank stuck in quicksand. Like everything was so rigid, but Luke Cage can still move like a human being, and everything he did was so. The fight scene was really slow and clunky. It should have been. He's still fast. He's still a human being. He can still move quickly. But with that being said, as I was about to do earlier, let's move on to Logan. Because that trailer, as you can sort of tell from what I've said, I'm really losing faith in Fox. I lost faith for quite a while ago, I believe. But Logan, I think looks good. I think it's gonna be a nice last hurrah for Hugh Jackman.
I also think it looks good, but I will say, I saw this thing that you can put that Johnny Cash song on any trailer and it makes it 10 times better.
Yeah, that is true.
So I am wondering if maybe it is that song that does a lot more.
It might be, because they did that. What did they do? They put that film over something else. I can't remember what it was now. I think it was like a really silly film and it really worked. It really worked. Yeah. But that is true. I mean, Johnny Cash works with absolutely anything. But I think it looks like it's going to be a decent film. I think half of it is just for aesthetic reasons. I like the way they've made Logan look. The fact it's almost got like that old preacher vibe. Like with the big jacket, the big white collar and the old jacket and the beard. Like he looks like the old preacher who's seen it all. Like that's what it looks like. And I think it sort of looks like they're going for a tone where Wolverine has not given up, but it's just worn him down.
Have they confirmed the girl's X-23 yet, or is that still?
I think that is confirmed. That you've seen the two claws come out, and it's a little girl, and as Charles said, she's very much like you, and she's not a clone, but I think they used like his DNA to create her or something like that. So. But I don't know too much about her backstory from what I've seen from other stuff. But I think it is. I've seen other sources calling her X23 now.
As long as it's only Logan's DNA and they don't like stitch her mouth up and then use like all these different X-Men's DNA.
Yeah, suddenly just shoot Cyclops visors. My one concern with Logan, and this has obviously been the whole problem with Fox, is how is it going to fit into the timeline? I thought originally when I saw it...
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I heard one person say that this was almost like an alternate universe.
That's what James Mangold said, the director. I think he just sort of said it's his own thing. There's this great guy online, John Campier, who just says that if you go into like the Fox offices, it just says timeline, schlimeline, something like that. Like they just don't care.
Yeah, and
it's like canon schmanon.
It's annoying if they actually did something to say this is completely like something right at the very start, not just this is a different universe, but like some way of showing that this is a different universe, it'd be fine. But I feel like this is like, you remember when Supergirl first came on TV?
Yeah.
This I feel like is that. Whereas where these people talk about superhero fatigue all the time, and I don't think it's a thing, this is the sort of stuff that argues their case. You made another superhero film, whereas with Marvel, all these superhero films come out, but they all link and they all build into a bigger picture. Putting Logan in a different universe, that's just another superhero film that's not pushing the narrative. And I think it's going to be a good film, but it's like, what was the point?
That Deadpool was the same thing?
True, but I suppose you could really, couldn't you? It's hard to argue it just because it was so awesome, but
I know.
But it did fit in though. It can still, if you see what I mean, because X-Men hasn't caught up to that point in the timeline yet, so it could still fit in, but. I suppose it is.
So maybe the fatigue. So this is an interesting, different argument. I don't know whether I necessarily agree with it, but could the fatigue be with the shared universes? Because then it becomes a point of you have to see them all. Whereas when you get a film like Deadpool, you don't have to see any before it. You don't have to see any after it. You've just got one like little film there on its own.
Yeah, I think when most people talk about it, they're just saying the oversaturation of superhero films. They're just saying there's too many.
Right.
So if it's building to a bigger narrative, I'm like, that's perfectly fine. Because you see that, it's important that they've done this. But when they just chuck one in for the hell of it, you're like, you've just clogged up another spot in that year for no reason. But despite that, I am looking forward to it. I think it looks really good. I thought originally X-23 was going to be Wolverine's replacement, because in the comics, X-23 is Wolverine now.
Yeah.
So I thought she was going to be the replacement, and she was going to join the X-Men as X-23.
Probably
again,
a little too young for that though.
Yeah, I thought she's cast younger. Yeah, but then she could be it for years, like Tom Holland. Like I know he's not that young.
Yeah.
But he can be Spider-Man for years now.
That poor girl's life has just been
she's
taken from her.
She's now going to be an angry killing machine. But like, I thought she can now be a part of the X-Men for a long time, because the rest of them are also very young. But then because it's an alternate thingy, at this point all the X-Men are gone. It's just like I was wondering how it's going to work. But I still think it's going to be a good film.
I don't think this is Hugh Jackman's last foray.
No?
I don't think it's the money. I really don't think it's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just think there's a story that's going to come along where it needs like a late 50s-year-old like Logan, and he's going to be like, yeah, I'll do that.
Another like multiverse thing in a few years. And they go to another universe and maybe find Old Man Logan instead.
Yeah, like just something like that. I think he would do it again. I think he has fun doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that guy genuinely has a love for
he
it.
does.
Which a lot of actors you see, they just seem to kind of hate what they do.
Yeah.
I feel like Ben Affleck's getting like that lately. He's sort of like
sad Affleck.
Like yeah, not necessarily with filmmaking and films and stuff, but with like the superhero thing. I don't think he kind of he should have known what he's getting himself into. He was Daredevil, but I think with Batman it's kind of, and the way the world is now, it's a whole different beast. I think he probably thought he could handle it, and it's maybe a bit different.
Yeah, possibly. But I think also you got to think about the fact he's been doing it for at this point 17 years now.
Yeah.
Like I think he's in his 50s. I think he's hit his time where maybe he doesn't want such a full-on schedule. I mean, you've seen him working out in between shoots, haven't you? Like, it's insane.
That's why him in like a Deadpool film, just like a little cameo in Deadpool 2, could be the role that he's after. Just a bit more fun, a bit more relaxing. Yeah. Even if he's not fully like, jacked.
Yeah. Hugh jacked.
Yeah. Then, even take it even.
Can we just take a moment to focus on that? Oh man, right, let's go. Let's move on. Man, I love a bad joke.
Yeah. They can make a joke about it, how he's not ripped anymore. Let's just move away from it.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point there's no way you can really fix the X-Men universe unless they literally just scrap it all and start again, do a Marvel.
Set it in the 60s with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
my pitch from before.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing. For anyone who hadn't seen the episode, a long time ago, when Four Stick was first coming out, I think Tommy had a theory, and I fully agreed with it, that if you were to reboot the X-Men universe, bearing in mind, Fox also owns the worst, awful Fantastic Four film, the most recent one. They should reboot both at the same time and make their own shared universe with Fantastic Four and X-Men, and make it like set in the 60s.
Yep.
A time when the X-Men would first come out and be like kept secret, back when like with First
Civil
Class
rights.
was about civil rights, and then we would have Fantastic Four, which is adored and loved by the public as
desperate to get to space.
Yeah,
this is the time when America had been to space but not to the moon. So
so the space race would have still been, and then they would have went out there hit by the cosmic rays, but they're loved, the explorers, the perfect family dynamic, and then you got the X-Men that also have powers, hated and feared by everyone, and then it would have been like, well, why are we loved and why are you hated? And it would have been so good, and at that time it would be a perfect genre. It would be different from the DC and Marvel Cinematic Universe at the moment.
And
it would have been.
You could have fully had that Martin Luther King, Charles Xavier, and Malcolm X. Magneto as well, which would have been perfect.
Which is an amazing comparison between the two. So I think that's the only way you could do it. But in the way it is now, I feel Tom Hardy should be Wolverine. I think he's still got a lot of acting years left in him, and he will look older than the other kids, which is what Wolverine needs to be. Yeah. Whereas when someone's younger and they get older, they change a lot. When someone's old and they get older, there's not many changes. They just get wrinkles and stuff like that. So if it was perfect, he will look the same, whereas everyone else will change drastically in the way they look. That's the only way you can do it. And then if you want to have Wolverine make a cameo, do a multiverse thing, and Old Man Logan comes in, and that's Hugh Jackman. Yeah. That's the only way I think you can do it. But honestly, at this point, unless they reboot the whole thing, I don't see how X-Men's ever going to get to the level that all the others have.
It won't.
It's just a shame, because I do love the X-Men.
Yeah. I mean, we've got what else we got this year? We got the DC films, Wonder Woman and Justice League. The trailers look fine, but I've heard early talks that they're just messes.
Really?
Oh man. Mess, which is.
I heard good things about Wonder Woman,
which
but
at first you think like, that could be rubbish, but
Yeah.
given the history.
The annoying thing is, yeah, because right now you want to believe that it's the done thing to like poop all over a DC film. Like, oh, it's gonna be bad. That's what everyone else wants to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can't help but believe it's true, which is unfortunate because I want there to be a good DC film. I really do.
I think Wonder Woman especially needs to be good because it's the first female-led superhero film.
And it's going to come out before
with a female director as well.
Yeah.
So now I'm so worried that the world, the bad side of the world are just going to look at it and go, well, a female director can't do a female superhero film now, and then they'll never do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm so worried. And it's unfair that pressure's put on Wonder Woman, but that pressure is unfortunately there.
And it doesn't help her case the fact there's already been, well, I'll say 2, because as you say, Man of Steel wasn't that bad, but there's already been 2 very lackluster films coming before it, and now she's got to work off of that.
Yeah.
Even though it's sort of like a Captain America First Avenger vibe, and the fact there's a lot set in the past as well.
Yeah.
So like maybe she can distance herself by that. And it seems like it's very bright colours, very lush, vibrant world. A lot of the shots seem,
which is
from what I've seen,
which it needs to be.
Yeah, which is exactly what it needs to be. So I'm hoping it's going to be good.
We'll see. I mean, I'm still completely reserving, judgment until I see it, and I will see it at the cinema, and I will see it with my own eyes. Because I think another thing as well, it's important to see that at the cinema because you need to show them that even if the film's bad, it's fine. Like we're still seeing it if it's a female-led film, and we're still seeing a female-directed film and stuff like that. So I think that's important for one thing. But I'm nervous, Dave.
It's annoying because I want. Not to say as good as Marvel, but I want DC to be as great as Marvel's become.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like that, not the same as that, but great in its own right. I want it to take off and be a success.
It pushes the quality on both sides.
Yeah.
What's the saying? Rising tide, all ships rise, or something like
exactly,
that?
Yeah.
So like the better DC gets, the better Marvel are going to try and get, and then it's just going to keep pushing each other up, and then the only people that win are us.
Yeah. But it seems like they just need to let a director do his thing and stop getting involved and stop trying to change it. Because anytime something goes wrong, the first thing you hear is there was a lot of studio involvement. That's the big problem.
Yeah.
It's just they mess it up all the time. I'm hoping Justice League is going to be good. Because if that is good, that could fix what's happened in the past. If Justice League is good, that's the introduction, the proper introduction, not the stupid video clips. That's a proper introduction to each one of the characters. If that can be a good film, it could be like the Avengers. It could be like whoa, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Pardon my swearing. I forgot I was on the podcast for a second. But yeah, like this could be really good. Like, but that's the hope. Yeah. That is the hope. But yeah, but we've spent quite a bit of time talking about films and all the Marvel and DC goodness that has come out and is going to come out. But that is not the only stuff we're looking forward to. There are a few games, or should I say one particular game that I'm thinking of that I am very, very excited for, and that is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yes.
A lot of people have been asking me, like, am I going to do a walkthrough of Mass Effect Andromeda? Is that going to happen on the channel? And of course that is going to happen on the channel. Mass Effect is my favourite game trilogy of all time. I can play that. Bear in mind, like, each game has got like 100 plus hours in it. I could play them on repeat, non-stop. If that was the only game I played for the rest of my life, I still wouldn't get bored. Yeah. I love it. It is just the best thing ever. And recently, a new trailer just came out, a story-driven trailer. Looks incredible. The feel, the tone, the scoring I heard behind it. I'm really looking forward to the Mass Effect soundtrack. The scoring behind it just hit me right in the heart. I'm like, yes, this is gonna be good. I can't wait. The squad dynamic looks perfect. I am so excited for this game. I'm actually gonna book an entire week off work just to play Mass Effect Andromeda.
Do you have EA access?
I believe I do.
Okay, because you get 10 hours of the game, I think, a week early.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would want to do that though.
No.
No, because you play about 10 hours of the game and then you'd get the game and have to replay that 10 hours again, which obviously would be cool, but. I just like.
No, you don't. You just carry on for what you are. Yeah.
Ooh. Maybe I'm booking 2 weeks off work. there goes all my annual leave. But that game just looks incredible. They said at this point it's not the start of a trilogy, but it could turn into the trilogy. I think it's all going to depend on how this goes. But it looks beautiful. It still has that same Mass Effect tone, although adding a lot of new stuff, improved visuals, improved gameplay. But it still has that Mass Effect tone, and I think it's going to be incredible. And
which is how I think you should do a sequel. You shouldn't just, change little things. Like you should just have the same sort of style and then be different. Like be new. Don't be afraid to go away from what you already know.
I think one problem a lot of games have is every new sequel they add more and then add more and add more. And in the end, and I think Call of Duty is a perfect example of this, it is just a complete cluster of just so much stuff going on. Like I tried going back to one of the Black Ops games and I just thought it was awful. Like I can see how someone new into it might like it, but I came back from World at War, like where you had your 3 kill streaks and maybe 1 attachment, and that was it. And you had like a single rifle. It was amazing. It was all based on either pure skill or like tactical thinking. Now it's just within 5 seconds you could be in somebody else's spawn, and it's silly. But that's the problem I feel with that. And I feel with Mass Effect, from what I've seen, they're not doing that. They're tweaking things, they're improving stuff, but they're not just chucking more into it. They're they're thinking about it. And I think the good thing is BioWare seems to absolutely love their own product. They love what they're creating.
Yeah,
Like,
they're passionate about it.
A lot of tweets I see, I hate it when I keep getting my playthrough of Mass Effect distracted because people come up to me with work-related questions, and it's like they're getting so sucked into the game they created. And I think if the creator can do that, it shows how good it's going to be, because the creator knows all the coding and the animating and everything that's gone involved. So it's easy to break the belief into the game.
Yeah.
But if the creator can feel like that, imagine what someone like us who has had no involvement is going to feel playing it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I'm very biased because I love Mass Effect, but I'm so excited.
I think you just talked me into a week off work as well, Dave.
Mate, and the good thing is you don't need to have played the other 3 games to play this. This can be a jumping off point.
That's right, I have though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I actually ruined a death for you as well,
You
didn't
did,
I?
yeah, you did. Still haven't forgiven you for it.
Well,
but,
it baffled me that somebody hadn't played that far through the game yet. I didn't think it was possible there would be anyone in the world who hadn't. So.
Well, you know, they had.
Yeah, it happened. So, but yeah,
you was late to it as well. What are you talking about?
I was
I
late.
played Mass Effect 1 and 2 before you. You just overtook me and played 3 before me.
I literally lost like a good year and a half of my life just playing that game over and over and over again. I can't believe my walkthrough was like 3 years old at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 years. I think the first one was about 3 years. I think by the time the third one ended, I had a little break in between 2 and 3. I think it's about 2 years. But still, it feels like just yesterday I finished Mass Effect 3. I cannot believe it.
That must be how long we've known each other then, Dave.
Yeah. Man, it's a long damn time. Long damn time.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been long, man. It's been long.
Felt longer.
Yeah. But was there anything else on the agenda that you wanted to talk about before we move on to our last topic?
As you and maybe you guys know, I'm a fan of the old Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They announced recently the title of episode 8, and I've got mixed feelings about it, Dave.
Yeah.
They've called it The Last Jedi, which it's fine, like, I suppose, like for like a book or something like that. But it just doesn't feel like. It just bothers me that we've had. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go through all the titles for you. You've got Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. And so the last 2 just feel a bit like The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. It just bothers me. It feels a bit off. Like
is it the parts that are bothering you?
Whenever I talk about the Star Wars films, I always give them a one-word. Like everyone knows, like what I'm talking about. When I say, "Oh yeah, Menace." Like, yeah, and you say, "Oh yeah, clones," or like, "Oh yeah, Sith," or Jedi, or Empire. What am I going to say for this one?
You can say
Return of the Jedi is already Jedi.
Oh, is it?
That's what I call Jedi. Yeah, that's what.
Oh, I would have called that Return.
No, everyone calls it Jedi.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose now you just call it Last, I guess.
Last.
Yeah.
Last.
Yeah. Sounds like you just say Lost.
That bother me. It's fine. There's obviously also the question: is it singular or is it plural? We'll find that out when we get.
Yeah, because Jedi could be Jedi or
Jedis.
But
however, in foreign languages, they have different words for Jedi singular and Jedi plural.
Oh really?
So I'm waiting for the translate. Cause I'm that
guy.
I'm that guy who's looking every day to see if they've announced the foreign titles yet to see if it's singular or plural.
Yeah.
Because my favourite character in anything of all time is Luke Skywalker. So obviously I'm very worried that the Last Jedi is him and he's going to die.
Yeah. But it didn't say the death of the Last Jedi. It just says the Last Jedi.
And he was referred to in The Force Awakens as the Last Jedi, and actually in Return of the Jedi as the Last Jedi, or the Last Jedi you will be.
Because call me a great Star Wars noob, but to my understanding, he is the Last Jedi, other than maybe possibly Rey. Is that correct?
Well, I would like to think.
Oh, and what's his face? The new bad guy.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Because Jedi definitely denotes good.
Right.
And I think they're just going to start going away from Jedi and Sith, because they've already said that Kylo Ren isn't a Sith. He's one of the knights.
So what do you think they're trying to keep going with the same things, but
so
lose the names?
So they're still Force users, but they don't necessarily follow the code of the Jedi. They don't,
right. So sort of blurring it a bit. So they've got the abilities, but not.
I love the Jedi. I love that they're totally flawed. That's one of the biggest parts.
But that's what the franchise is built on, the fact they're Jedi, and
so
it's like if you had superheroes and they lost the costumes.
I think I have very mixed emotions, especially considering I didn't really like Force Awakens all that much.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about the title, but I loved Rogue One. I love the director Rian Johnson.
Yep.
So there's still a lot I'm excited for. I'm looking forward to a first trailer. There's a lot of speculation right now when that will be. Will it be the Super Bowl? I don't think so. I think it'll be Celebration in April.
Right.
So I'm just in this weird place right now where I don't know what to believe. Whereas before I was just riding the hype train, just riding it from from the first stop to the last. But now I'm just all up in the air, Dave. I don't know how to feel.
Well, the thing is, you sort of felt like this before Force comes out, and unfortunately, like you are sort of correct in your feeling. But like, because it's something you love, any new thing, and it's not just like it's a spin-off or this or that. It's actually a continuation of the series.
Right.
So anything you'll hear straight away, you're gonna be like, well, how is this going to affect it? How is this going to? So you.
I don't remember the first time I saw the original trilogy. I remember the first time I saw the prequels because it would have been at the cinema. I was kind of in that last generation who got Star Wars before the prequels.
Yeah.
So I don't ever remember not seeing the original trilogy and not knowing every single line. So
Yeah.
and then I've grown up my whole life thinking, in my own head, like, oh, this is what happened next for me, and like, reading the books like the Thrawn trilogy, like Heir to the Empire and stuff like that. So I've always had this picture in mind. So then seeing it's probably been a bit of a disappointment, probably.
Yeah.
And as well, just one of my major gripes with Force Awakens is that, like I said a minute ago, my whole life I don't ever remember seeing a scene with Han, Luke, and Leia, the Holy Trinity in my eyes,
Yeah.
and not knowing exactly what they're all gonna say. Like I've always just known every line of dialogue. So the thing I was most excited for with Force Awakens is that those three were back. And I was finally going to see the three of them together again.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to have that.
Yeah, that's the most upsetting thing, because we might have got it in episode 8, but now.
They were all in the film, and I'm never ever going to have Han, Luke, and Leia together again saying stuff that I don't. What would they say?
Yeah.
I'm never going to get that.
Do you know what would have been
and
great?
I think that is the biggest crime that Force Awakens committed, and there's no taking that back.
Yeah, I think one of the annoying things as well is they might have planned on doing it in episode 8, obviously for obvious reasons now with the passing of Carrie Fisher. They can't do that.
Also, Han Solo.
Oh yeah, and Han Solo as well. Yeah, of course.
Took a lightsaber to the chest.
Yeah, but there was always 100 ways they could have gone. Oh, actually, it wasn't true. But like now, obviously with real life events, it's completely impossible
It's
now.
never going to happen. Yeah.
And what would have been great? They didn't have to say anything. They could have just stood in like a triangle, just looking at each other, and that just like sort of like a wide shot slowly going in. That would have been amazing already.
I wanted to see them together, and it's never going to happen. Never going to see Han and Lando together again.
Yeah.
Just little things like that I think are just absolute criminal.
Let's face it. After something comes back after a long time, that's when like when a TV series suddenly does one more season after like a decade.
Right, yeah.
You want to see those characters back together again. That's what you want.
I get it. Lawrence Kasdan has wanted to kill Han Solo since The Empire Strikes Back. I get
it. Even Harrison Ford wanted to kill Han Solo.
Yeah, I totally get it. But that just the fact that Luke was in it just at the end with no dialogue and he's not with Han and Leia again. It's so tragic.
Odd question: if he didn't have any dialogue, did he get paid less?
I think he got paid more because he was on set. He was on set almost every day because they wanted to keep a secret how little he was in it. So that's another thing. This whole time I'm like, oh, Luke's there every day. He's on set. He's moved to London for the shoot and stuff. And then he's in it for 2 minutes. No,
man, he had
30 seconds.
He had a chill couple of months, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, but
I do love Mark Hamill though. He deserves every penny he got for that.
Especially all his Trumpster stuff recently. That's just been amazing.
Best.
It's just so good. Him as the. I know, obviously, Luke Skywalker's his most iconic role, but I think Joker is
he's my favorite.
Very
Joker.
Close second.
He's my favorite Joker. I cannot read the Joker in a comic without hearing Mark Hamill's voice.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I'm so glad he got to do the Arkham games, and he does the majority of TV series as well. It's just, oh man, it's so incredible.
Can't wait to get him on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And there's the big announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Hamill. Oh no, he's not here really. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, there was something else I was going to mention about it, but I completely forgot now. So screw him.
Oh,
that'll do. Oh yeah, no, that's the one problem with a series as well. I don't think any series, TV or film, should ever bring back a series once it's ended, especially after a couple of years, especially after decades, because it's set in your mind, and anything that comes next, no matter how good it can be, it's always going to seem like it's been tacked on. It's never going to seem like the actual story. When you watch a trilogy, they've come out a year or two after each other. Then 10 years later, even if it was always planned to do that, it will always feel like it's not really a part of the thing.
Right.
That's the one problem. But that's how I always feel about stuff. But
so that's kind of our discussion on what's coming this year. Normally, like we're just doing, this is the first episode back, so we're sort of saying this is everything we've missed, this is everything we're looking forward to. Usually at the end of each month we'll kind of recap all the exciting news and stuff that was sort of revealed through that month, and then that will be the main discussion. So
however, before we wrap this up, there's one thing that's going to seem really out of the wheelhouse for us too. Like we're normally always talking about superhero TV, superhero movies, just geeky stuff in general. There's something you're not going to expect from us, and it's sort of taken the world by storm, or at least the theatre world by storm, and it has completely rocked our worlds, for a lack of a better.
Yeah, actually, like one of my favourite parts of The Force Awakens, while there wasn't much to love there, was that there was that the Cantina song was composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Was it really?
It was indeed.
I did not know that at all.
Because J.J. Abrams is a huge fan of this musical called Hamilton, Dave. You may have heard of it.
I have. I've heard of it a lot every day in my car for the last 3 or 4 months.
Yes. So there's this musical. You may have heard of it. It got nominated for I think 11 Tonys or something like that, or won 11. I can't remember what it is. It was record breaking, and it's a hip hop musical about the Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers of America, which is obviously a natural pairing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
As you'd assume.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, why haven't I done this sooner?
And it's just something I became absolutely obsessed with. I fell in love with it first time I heard it. And I showed it to Dave, and he had a similar response to it as I did.
Yeah.
And and now we've got our tickets booked. We're seeing it in London next year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just under a year time, I'm finally going to be seeing it. I can't wait. You hear it and you think, theatre and musical. I've been hearing about it for months before Tommy had shown it to me, and I thought, okay, well that's not my cup of tea. Even if it's not, give it a listen anyway, because it will become your cup of tea. It is amazing. Just the way it all flows, the storytelling in it, and you know how much I love my storytelling, along with the music and how just the words fit the beat and tell a somewhat accurate. It's not. It's obviously there's been storytelling changes.
There's this thing that Lin-Manuel Miranda says, which is tell the truth, not the facts.
Yeah.
So he's telling an accurate story, but he's just kind of.
But not point per point.
He's kind of blending some things to make it easier. For example, a character meets Hamilton meets 3 characters at once rather than over a few months, just to make it concise and tell a story. Yeah.
And also it bonds their friend in 2 songs. It's bonded their friendship. He meets them in one. The next song. By the end of the next song, they're all best friends. Yeah. Whereas if they met one at a time, that never would have happened.
It's a musical.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun, but it is just fantastic. As I say, if you don't think it's something that you would normally like, the whole album is always on YouTube as there is.
Yeah, and it's a sung through musical. If you don't know what that means, it means there's no spoken parts where they just suddenly break into song. It is song to song to song to song.
Which means if you buy the album, you're not missing anything.
You get the whole thing. Yeah, you get the whole package. So
I would recommend, if you are going to listen to it on YouTube, watch one of the ones that has the lyrics so you know which character is saying what. Because obviously we've heard it so many times now, we know which character's singing what. But obviously if you're new to this, it might be hard to keep track. So watch a lyrics video and listen to it, and you'll see which character's saying which, and you'll just get hooked in the story.
Right.
And the lyrics and the beat will just stick with you. You just can't get it out of your head. As I said, my commute to work's about half hour to 45 minutes every day, there and back. For the last 3-4 months, I've had it in my car and I've not taken it out. I just switch between the 2 discs, and I'm still not sick of it. Like, it's just the second you start having enough of one disc, you just chuck the other disc in.
Yeah.
And it just keeps on going and going. It's such a great story.
The problem with it is, though, my view of history is so jarred now.
Yeah.
The fact that in my head, as far as I'm aware, Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton used to just rap battle all the time.
Yeah, constantly.
That's how I see it now.
Yeah, see, that's one of the cool ways to do it. When they're having like a cabinet meeting, they're discussing the points. Instead of just being a boring discussion about like where the national debt should be going and all this sort of stuff. They're rap battling back and forth.
Neutrality of France and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
which sounds boring, but wait till you hear them rap about it.
Oh,
I
mate,
promise you're in for a treat.
It's incredible. It'll get you into politics in a way that you wouldn't believe you could get into.
If you want to listen to just a couple of songs to get a flavour, listen to the opening number, Alexander Hamilton.
Yep.
Listen to My Shot.
Yep.
And I'd say maybe listen to Non-Stop.
Non-Stop is also a good one. Possibly Yorktown.
Possibly Yorktown as well, yeah. And then if you like all those, just go from start to finish. Cause, just sit down for 2 hours, have nothing to do, as if you're going to watch a film, but just sit there, put the music on, and close your eyes, and just see the production in your head, and it will be amazing.
And also, not that I recommend this is the right thing to do, but if you can find a bootleg copy online to watch, do, because the actual choreograph
or just go to Broadway and see it if you live over there.
I'd recommend buying a ticket and go and seeing it in person, but
you want to be in the room where it happens.
Exactly. That was another little reference to Hamilton there. If you want to know what we're talking about, go watch it. But it's absolutely fantastic. I can't big it up enough. Like, just my words won't do it justice. I ignored it for months, and I'm so glad that Tommy finally got me to listen to it, because it's amazing. It's so incredible. And
it was just me at Dave's I had the power of the computer in my hands, so I was like, I'm gonna play some Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually, it was like 2-3 songs in, you were like, "Oh, stop now." And I was like, "No, don't stop. No, keep playing it."
Non-stop.
Yeah, exactly. But
take a break.
I'll definitely recommend it. It's just incredible. But Yeah, but with everything done, I think we've actually finally managed to get through everything we're going to talk about quicker than I thought we were going to. I didn't think we were going to get through everything, but I think we've actually finally done a good job.
We can go back and talk more if you want.
No, you guys got another couple of hours, yeah? We can just keep talking about this.
It's all right. The first song in Hamilton.
Yes, the next podcast is going to be all talking about Hamilton, second to second. But I think that's everything we were going to talk about. We've actually managed to get through all of the things we wanted to mention. There was something I was going to mention right at the very start, but I realised we forgot now. That's actually we're doing a giveaway.
Oh yeah. So if you
Probably
listen this
mentioned-
long, lucky you, because
Yes, we were going to mention at the start, but I completely forgot because it's our first podcast back, and hey, it happens. Like we're rusty, getting the ring rust off a little bit. But there is actually a giveaway we're going to do for you guys. All you got to do is share this video on either Facebook or Twitter or on YouTube, or just share it with your friends and just show us or prove to us that you have shared this video on any one of those platforms, on any media platform, and you could be potentially in the running to win a £20 Amazon gift voucher.
which is just enough to buy yourself the Hamilton album if you.
That's correct. That's correct.
It.
It's not enough to see it on Broadway, but you can get the album. You can definitely get the
That's
album,
true, yeah.
and you can have your life dissolve into a world of Hamilton like mine has.
Or you could treat yourself to a Blu-ray of one of the films we've been talking about.
Yep, or maybe
something like that.
pre-order Mass Effect Andromeda, or go see any of the films we're talking about. All of them are great options. But yeah, all you got to do is just share this video on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube and just show to us that you have. I mean, if you have shared it, I'm sure we'll see it anyway.
Yeah.
And you could be in the running to win a £20 or $20, depending on where you are.
Ooh.
Amazon gift voucher.
A gift voucher.
A gift voucher. A gift voucher.
And a gift voucher.
Yeah, you get both, a couch and a voucher. But yeah, and you can use that £20 or $20 to spend on absolutely anything you want. All you have to do is just share this video, and I just punch my microphone. That's how excited I am about this £20 gift voucher. But yeah, speaking of sharing this video, you can share this video on Facebook or Twitter. Speaking of, you can find myself on Facebook at TheCaptainofDave, or on Twitter at JustCaptainofDave, and also Patreon at TheCaptainofDave. And you can find Mr. TT Green himself.
TT Green, yeah, on Twitter.
On Twitter at Mr. TT Green, and also Segue City at Segue City on Twitter. Share this on any of those platforms and follow us at those things I just told you. All the links in the description for Facebook, Twitter. This podcast itself is going to be on YouTube. It will also be on iTunes, and it will also be on Podomatic. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. If you would like to go to iTunes and rate this podcast, we would very much appreciate it.
It's huge.
I cannot even begin to tell you how much that helps us. Just one 5-star rating will just rocket us. It will really, really help. Anyone who does that, especially, will be even more in the running to win a.
That gets you 2 entries into our randomised. Randomised pick. We'll do it like that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Share and like and favourite this video and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they do favourite still, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Share, rate, favourite this video. But if you go and rate us on iTunes, we will especially love you for it, and you might be more in the chance to win the £20 Amazon gift voucher. But yeah, as I said, all the links to stuff we've just talked about in the description. Tommy's Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon, Segue City's Twitter, all the links to iTunes and Podmatic, all that sort of stuff in the description down below. And this has been good. It feels like we're good finally to come back and get Segue City under.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, as I said at the start, Segue City at the moment is going to be coming every month. At the end of every single month, we'll be talking about all the nerdy goodness that has happened in that month, and I'm sure there is going to be a lot of it as the movie season is starting to roll out again.
Yes.
I mean, starting off March with Logan as well, and it's just going to keep on rolling from there. So I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
I'm excited. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, who are still here listening to us at this point. Thank you very much. As I say, follow all the links in the descriptions. Like, share this. We would very much appreciate it. And maybe you can win a £20 Amazon gift voucher. But as for now, my name's Dave.
And I'm Tommy.
And we will catch you guys later.